was a belly of tea. The winds blew up her bow, dipped down below my belly boys blow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She had not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Was a ship that put to sea, the name of the ship was a belly of tea. The winds blew up her bow, dipped down below my belly boys blow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar.
How am I meant to follow up after that energy of that song? It's just, it's completely mismatched.
It's a bit false advertising.
It is. Mike, I've missed you, dude. Is that weird?
No.
This is the part where you go,
not weird
Rob,
at all.
I've missed you as well, dude. It's not the same.
At all, Rob. I get that all the time.
God, unbelievable. Eric, how are you, dude?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. All right, let's say hi to chat. B Rose is in the house. Cerebrum on Indiegogo doing really well. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Crackhead's in the house. Crackhead is absolutely killing it with his channel, Bancroft. Him and
What was that saying?
Crackhead is killing it with his channel. Him and Aldous
crushing it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And OC Steve and the rest. Aerith's in the house. If it has a dong, then it's good. Why did I choose to read that one out loud? I was a great.
They're talking about the fact that the other week before Rob went on holidays, I left it up to the chat whether or not I should draw the male organ fully exposed in the comic.
What'd you come up with? What'd you end up doing?
We ended up drawing it.
Okay.
We bowed to
on
the
stream
crowd pressure. On stream.
Huh.
You've got to show Eric. Can you show Eric version 1 and then version 2?
All right, I'll try and find them. Okay,
excellent.
You continue on.
Osgreat Sage says, I feel B Rose is about to announce a Sailor Moon cosplay stretch goal. He says at 15K we're doing Cerebrum waifu pillows. Mr. Monkey 1969's in the house. Good to see you. Scrolling down. Can we kick Robin Bancroft and keep Canete? Could. Would improve the show. Aardvark is here. Scrolling down. Mo Biggs is here. Aldous says, when Rob's tonguing is done, the show will start. Dave Brinks here. I just backed your book, Dave. Perfect 10 on Indiegogo. Just backed it before the show started. So gay, Rob. Weird flex, Rob. God, you guys. Mel B's in the house. Your wife, Michael, how is she?
She's sick. She's unwell.
Oh, no.
Oh.
I'm sorry to hear
that.
What did you do?
Why is it
nothing.
automatic?
I know, right? No, we've been going out to a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments, and I think she's just picked something up.
Kids are infested with disease. They really are.
They are.
They carry it around the world.
Your kids are in jiu-jitsu tournaments. Is that what you're saying?
One.
Okay.
The other one's 4, but yeah, not us. No.
Yeah, I thought you and Mel were just randomly going into jiu-jitsu tournaments challenging people.
I would. Yeah, you can do the rear naked choke. Why not? No, yeah, kids tournaments.
Right.
So yeah, there's a lot of sweaty, snotty kids running around. Someone's bound to pick up something.
And you guys, Michael, you're doing some coloring. Eric, you're doing some drawing, aren't you? You guys going to share that?
Yeah.
So you got me hunting dong pics. So
somebody clip that, please.
Oh, that's nothing.
Yeah, I know. He's always
nothing.
chasing the dong. Eric, you must be pretty happy with how Arc Athena's going.
In what context, Rob?
Well, you've got 223 backers. You only launched yesterday. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure that's better than the first time round.
It was that is sort of lost in my memory. That first one. I think the number, and I was talking to Michael about this yesterday. The number I'm paying attention to is the backer number. That's if there's any metric that I'm paying attention to closely, it's the first campaign versus this campaign to say, hey, did we move that? You know what I mean? Was there an uptick in that? I'd be very proud if it was, up by 10%, maybe 15. I'd be pretty happy with that.
Do you remember, Mike? I think it's going better.
I don't. I can't recall. But it seems within the ballpark.
This cover is fire, Eric. This is my favorite of the two, actually.
You can't ignore that when you see it.
Yeah,
and there's so much going on. It's actually really sophisticated. For what's essentially at first glance seems like a character being, that's what you see, a character being held by a fist. But then you notice there's another character in there, and then you see, okay, this is like a forced perspective viewpoint, and then there's all the other little effects, and then you think about the palette choices, and it's rad.
I was telling Mike yesterday that was almost not the original colors for this was was a bit underwhelming because it was too much on the nose. Each character was colored exactly their natural local color. And then we got a little bit more stylistic with it just to push Gristle to the front there, and Juliana took that thing to a really, really nice polish.
It's amazing. We'll come back to it. I got distracted because Mike has shared his drawing, Eric. So I hope you're ready for this.
We go from this.
You literally checked out when you saw the photo.
Yeah, I mean, just bear in mind the change you're about to see. You're going from one of the best covers I've seen in quite a while to this.
Oh boy. That's not going to get you kicked out of YouTube or anything.
Deep, impactful discussion. That was the first one that Rob was talking about. That's what I settled on. This is before Shadows. Now I'm probably going to, because he's in a room, a kind of cavernous room lit by firelight. So I'm probably going to have cast shadows going down over the legs and everything. But I got to sort of figure that out. But the dong happened. It was real. And it happened on the greatest draw stream that I think we're going to see this year. It was hilarious. I can't wait to cut that down.
Dude, that was so funny. I haven't laughed that much on a stream ever, I don't think.
It was so good. It's going to make a great clip show.
There was so many good bits, but the bit where Camel Moon is like, "What are you guys doing? What are you talking about? That's huge." It's completely threw himself under the bus. It's like, I think both of us like, what do you mean? What are you talking about, Kebble? It took a while. Oh,
it was so good. It was so good.
Mo says, stop asking Bancroft questions. He can't focus on anything but Rod these days.
That's the artist I hired, Eric. Not anything else, just in case you were wondering.
Yeah, who is that artist that you hired?
Rod Looper. He's very talented, and he's working with me on my extra project, and he's working with a bunch of others. Very happy with Rod.
Go back to that previous cover, Rob. On screen right now, what I'm sharing with you was one of the options for that cover. You know?
Oh yeah, that's worse, isn't it?
It is. It is. As my wife, was saying, when I showed her both, she said one is being presented and one is sort of more menacing because it's grappling the.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this version that's on screen right now is like being given as a gift. So like that's the narrative behind it. It's a little it's a little passive, but the one that we ended up going with was really like the main character is struggling, and they're clearly it's more menacing, right?
Oh, the colors are so
completely.
good too.
Yeah,
So good.
that's Juliana.
Then you got this cover here. That's my favorite character.
Yeah, that's her. That's her human
Hypersexual.
persona standing in front of her there.
Yeah. So she sends this into people's minds. Yeah. So what
Yes.
happens?
Yeah, that's what she would be without all the cybernetic implants, right?
Wicked.
Yeah.
That's so
I
cool.
remember. Do you remember what he said to me when I sent him the first version of this cover, Mike?
Remind me.
He says, I remember, and I'm like, all right, fine. He goes, can you just make her prettier? I said, all right. I'm gonna make her pretty.
Oh, I think I did do a draw over for you of a booble area, didn't I, Eric?
I remember you said this
Booble.
would sell.
That's a word.
This would sell more units if you just kind of did this. And
I'll have to try and find that. These these pages are beautiful.
yeah,
You must like be so happy when you get these back from Jules.
I am, but you know how that there's a pessimistic, careful optimism that happens in my head. We're like, oh gosh, how are we gonna scale this out to 4 more issues if Jules is hitting this hard on colors? You know, where do we take it from here, right? Because as you know, I'm pretty proud of the work that he's done with these issues, but the narrative and the action scenes just escalate from here. So you don't want to you want to give a bit of, you don't want to get into a space of like visual information / color fatigue, you know.
Mate,
But
this page
so much fun to look at.
It is bonkers. Mike, we have a tank scene in Replicator 3. It is not to this level, is it? This is ridiculous.
I actually took
it's
that
different.
shot from Replicator 3. Yeah, I said like, what's Rob doing with this tank scene? I'll do this better. I'm just kidding.
Oh, no,
I just repurposed those pages.
Oh, Mo's given me. He's given me.
Oh, this
his
is the
review.
this is the review. Yeah, in chat review. Excellent.
Nice. Replicator 1, basic but competent art and writing, interesting premise and world building. Not that bad. I'll take that, man.
Yeah, I would take that. That's awesome.
Jasper's here. Jasper is going to be very conflicted. He doesn't like it when we have guests on this show, yet he loves Eric Canete. Don't know how that's going to go.
What's the feed? Why no guests from Jasper?
He likes the format.
He likes the format.
Dance between Rob and I.
Uh-huh.
Rob asking me questions, me being derisive and dismissive.
Yeah.
It's I guess it's a way for him to kind of wind down at the end of the day.
All right.
These are fire. I wanted you to. Why didn't you take this, right? Like this image and put it up the top with the spot UV, like there? Don't you reckon that would look dope? Like that looks sick.
I mean, but you want to have it. You tell me if this sounds right. You want to have it as a feature. You know, that big one should just be the image by itself, kind of like the same reaction that you just had, Rob. And then as you scroll down, you say, "Hey, here's a feature of the book as you get it." You know. And these are all Bancroft's, tips and tricks that he kindly forwarded to me. So
Vogue animation.
What do you think, Mike? Who's right, me or Eric?
Look, I think we're kind of splitting hairs. The art is so beautiful on this campaign, the whole way down to the very bottom. I don't think there's anyone who's going to be hitting the page who's not going to be scrolling down, so everyone's going to see it eventually. I mean, yeah, you maybe put them underneath the ones up top, but
what's the thought behind that, Mike? Is it because you want them to see it right away?
I would like you. So you have the two covers in big, and then underneath that you could have the GIF of them shining. Keep the trading card down there.
Yeah.
Just because that real estate at the top is that's where you're almost guaranteed people are going to see it.
I see what
But
you're saying.
having said that, we're kind of splitting hairs, but man, they look good. And
so
Joe showed off the actual items on my show tonight. And
Did he?
Yeah, and we got to see it in the flesh. You really have put together, probably the most impressive product that I've seen from last year.
Yeah.
Really is,
Like I
you would
think
see
Eric,
it
he said that like the
off
gold
in a
standard.
bookstore.
Yeah, this is like the premium gold, top of the line standard now. Everyone should be one day aspiring to do something that looks this good. That's the way I think of it. Mo says Replicator 2, notable improvement in all aspects. Replicator 3, coloring sucks. Michael is terrible. Rob attempts to be funny with the usual results. Good action. Tommy says
Good
clear
job,
images.
That's actually an insult to you, Rob, and a compliment to me. So
how is that?
Well,
an
because
insult
he's
to Rob?
saying the coloring sets the mood. Well, okay, that's a
Not
tick
what
for
I
me.
read.
Rob attempts to be funny with the
Mhm.
usual results. That means he attempts to be funny, but he wasn't. His
Did not
jokes,
work. Right.
they fell flat.
As
Mate,
flat as usual.
I've made you laugh. Some
Yeah, it's
pretty good
happened.
laughs.
I'm not saying you've never made me laugh. It's happened.
You've never made him laugh with your comics, I think is what Mike's trying to say.
Well, that's
you don't read Replicator for a laugh. I mean, you don't.
No.
Granted, you don't read Lucent for a laugh either.
Can I tell you,
So
I
it's
got
not-
through the first 5, maybe 7 pages. I don't know what I was expecting with Lucent, but it was dense, those first 5 pages. There's so much information happening in those first 5 pages in order to set it up. So was it? Yeah, it was the flashback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was 7 pages. I'm like, whoa, I really need to pay attention. It's maybe because my brain was programmed into Arc Athena space, where there's just a bunch of crab ejaculant. You know what I mean? Like that's where my
Very
head space was.
different.
And then I go into the Lucent, almost not expecting the same, but I'm like, okay, here we go. And I was like, whoa, this is
Heavy.
yeah.
So it appears everyone disagrees with me. The work really speaks for itself. It's all so visually eye-catching. And who was it? Tommy said the clear image is best at first.
Oh yeah, I would have the main. Yes, absolutely. You keep the main cover up top. That's the first thing you want to see.
Independent of the UV, right? What Rob is saying is, in that big main image, the UV effect should have been there already. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah. Is that what you're saying, Rob?
I'm saying this. I would like to see what it looks like. I'm not saying do it 100%. I'm saying I just want to see what it looks like big in that image. That's all I'm saying.
I'm saying you're wrong, Rob.
Apparently you're wrong, Rob.
I hear that quite often.
Continue
Tommy
reading
says, "Go."
Continue reading Mo's review, by the way. This is gold. You don't want to miss this.
I read it.
You just put in a new one.
I agree. You don't read Replicator for a laugh. That.
Oh, okay, this you got to catch up.
Okay. Tommy says book info first, short sales pitch, cover, some sequential, then what the book is about, blah blah, in concise manner. All else after that, as they sell more stuff. I think it really is a little bit flexible on how like good your art is. Like, I think you're fine to put this cover first. That is the first thing I would want on your campaign if I was you, and then some more detail here, which you've done. I think that's fine.
I mean, this was all your, I was following your guys' feedback and formula, and I think it flows pretty well. I think
really
that
loose.
You get the right information. I think, in my opinion, in an organic way, right?
Yeah. Oh no, I have nothing bad to say about
Yeah.
the way the campaign is laid out at all. I think it's another home run.
Jasper says, I like the standard cover better, but I chose the limited because I always pick the more exclusive items.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So on your first campaign, obviously my cover was the better one, but on this one, the standard cover is the better one. Do you have a preference of the two?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't. Although I gotta say this, it was intimidating to think of following up the first campaign's covers because I really had an attachment to both of those. Those things could have been strong contenders for cover A, cover B, or standard edition, limited edition. But so yeah, that was always in the back of my mind as a ghost to be like, I got to do it as well as those first two.
How are people liking the black and white edition? What's the feedback?
I'm getting really good feedback about it, but I already knew going in that is for a very specific sort of buyer, collector, supporter. It's very art centric, It's where ultimately it speaks to my selfishness that's the kind of stuff that I would end up buying were I looking into one of my favorite artists. Like if it was Kevin Nolan is one of my favorite artists going back, and if he had offered this on his campaign, I'd be all over that 11x17, just so I can learn off of it,
Yeah, that's sick. Mo says, I did get a laugh in Replicator 1 with the soy boy soldier looking like he just got a Nintendo Switch from his wife's boyfriend when he shouts, "We're being attacked." Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about. Dave says, Arcathena is one of the best looking books out there. Yeah, man, it's great. Mo says, the ending of Replicator 2 is very serious. I did laugh a bit, only because it reminded me of George. Oh, that was funny. Yeah. Just back. Sumo says, just back a second time for the line edition.
Limited edition and artist
Limited edition and artist edition. 66 and 234. Wasn't
That's
missing
awesome.
out on 9x12 bust this time.
Thank you,
Sick.
Sumo. Thank you.
I was like refreshing after someone's backed. Oh, okay, you got 3 backers. I'm claiming all of those.
Hey.
Let's look at what Mike is doing, and then we're going to look at Cerebrum and Perfect 10 as well.
This is coming along, Mike. That lighting on that 3/4 down shot, that's really nice perspective. Look great. Great stylistic call.
I'm just trying to replicate the... hang on, it's not going to share it.
Wind it down, Rob.
I've laid claim to that word now.
To the word.
It doesn't want to share it. Hold on a sec. Let me share it.
That's sweet. Stephen Rockwood says, on Arcathena 1, I was back a 1. On Arcathena 2, I was back a 2. Will I manage back a 3 on the next one?
Right. That would be awesome. Good trend to keep up. Thanks ahead of time, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm
That's really
Decent,
smart.
Mike.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to get these panels done because I'm trying to get the teaser trailer finished by the big show on Friday night, our Saturday.
Yeah.
So that I can launch a mailing list and everything, because I want to have that on the mailing list from the get-go. So I haven't seen how this looks on, because I have a whole thing, like I work on panels instead of pages. I want to see how it looks on the page and everything, get it to work. But I mean, it's a good starting point. I'm happy with it, like to move on and apply this look to the other panels. And it's all about setting that mood. And I have gotten people talking about, hey, there's multiple light sources here, and I'm just like, whatever, man.
See, that's what I was about to ask. So it's like a giant booming light outside. It's just like blowing out everything, right? Because something is being lit from off screen towards the reader, because that's what's casting the shadow of the. Is it a 6-pointed star? Yeah.
Here's what I'm thinking. When I initially did this, it was a lot more muted when I initially colored it, and it just I want it to have a sort of otherworldly atmosphere and feeling to it. Essentially, what's happening is one of those guys walking in the door has come on an impossible journey. That no one should ever really be able to get here. So it's almost like, when he arrives, it should just be this place that's never been seen before. And so I'm not as concerned about.
But there's people in there.
The science of. Oh yeah.
So people have seen it before.
Though. That's part of the mystery. Anyone who's read the Epic of Gilgamesh might.
Oh, mate, you're obsessed with that book. You've got a problem.
I'm not. It's part of the thing. It's not even a big part of the Lucen. It's just part of the story. So
I'll say this, because the highest point of contrast is that door back there. My eye immediately goes to that. Was that your intention?
That's because essentially you've got a guy sitting on a throne in the middle. Yeah. And he's going to have dialogue. So he will have, that will be balanced, with dialogue.
There's dialogue on this page.
Yes. So your eye will have that anchor, but he's talking about them. So it's sort of like a little mini battle between those two. But yes, they're important, and also the characters in the middle are important. The guy sitting on the throne essentially is important, and this sarcophagus thing as well, obviously.
That's what Mike sleeps in every night.
You wish, Rob.
Take this or leave us. Take it or leave it, Mike. If I may make a suggestion, this closest, I don't know what you would call it. Is the chandelier? Is it a torch? The one
they're called braziers. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yes, go on.
Well, that one that's closest to us on the right hand side, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just move it. I know it's going to be a cheat. I just move it a little bit further right, so you just get. Unless that's by design, right? Unless you want people to discover the people coming through the door. And I know it's because in the perspective of this great line, it's all lined up in the roof very specifically. Yep. But I would just move it because it's breaking that line of action from like door to the throne to the sarcophagus,
Yeah, Mike.
Don't seem so happy that I'm getting some constructive criticism from Eric Canete. Eric was essential in taking the colors on Replicator to the next level too. So I want to thank you again for that, Eric.
Me too.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
Tommy says, I do need to get digital versions of the book one day. It does not ship to Finland. Do you have any information about digital yet, Eric, or is that still
we talked about it briefly last night on Mike's show that Zestworld is going to launch their Arc Athena. They're the people who are going to be exclusively distributing it digitally on their platform via a subscription service. So,
okay, cool. And will they have all the issues, or is it just issue 1?
No, they'll have 1 through 6.
Wow. Okay, awesome. Yeah. David Feed says, I have one question for Eric. Will there be a volumes 1 to 6 superbook?
What is it like an omnibus or something like that? I don't know. Does it make much business sense? Because right now, and let me talk you guys through this, the idea of shipping out a hardcover is already X amount of dollars, internationally and locally, right? If I were to collect this thing in one hard omnibus, I think it would have to be one of those sort of like die-hard hardcore fans type of edition, Because it almost feels like it would be cost prohibitive to get something in hardcover with that many pages, probably with a ton of bonuses inside of it. What do you guys think?
That is tough. I don't know, because that would be like a mortgage payment to ship it to Australia.
Yeah.
It'd be like this thing.
Right.
These were, I think, $100.
Yeah. Can you imagine? And then putting shipping and handling on it. Yeah.
You would have to pack this so well, because when they're getting thrown around, that weight, you can see on my hand, how heavy these things are.
Yeah. However, the plan now then is to, on the 6th book, make a what do you call it? A slipcase that fits all 5.
Sexy. Love
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's wicked.
Yeah.
Sumo says, is that food on the table to the left and then you have to walk all the way to the table on the right for a drink, Mike? He's talking about the previous page.
Hold on a sec. My friggin' thingambigs crapped out on me. They do that every now and then.
Riveting YouTube, everyone. Mike trying to fix
I
his
apologize.
headphones.
Your show came to a screeching halt.
What the hell's going on? It's playing some music from somewhere. Now I have to find out where that music is. It's playing music in my ear. What the hell?
Something hijacked your AirPods, man.
All
I
right,
know.
let's have a look
Okay,
at...
sorry. Can you ask that again? Sorry.
Sorry, B-Rose. Mike has just destroyed your chance. Sumo says, is that food on the table to the left and then you have to walk all the way to the table on the right for a drink on your previous page, Mike?
He doesn't have to do anything. He's got his woman there to do all that for him.
Oh boy.
That's a good answer. That works well.
She's standing there just waiting to serve. Although at some point he does actually come down off the throne and help himself to some grapes. So
She wasn't doing it right, was she?
well, he had to stand up to make his point. It was a power play.
Anton says, if the matter is the tangent, he could also move the characters in the doorway a bit further back. Tiger
It wasn't
Blue,
Go ahead.
sorry, is 706 away from 5 trading card set with 26 hours to go. I'll bring it up in a sec. Mo.
That's cool. No, it wasn't a tangent. It was more like, just make the intention clear. And the chandelier just kind of got in the way of that.
Jasper says, make it Marvel Omnibus or DC Absolute size. Slipcase is a great idea. Mo says, you can see my hand on my hand how heavy this is. Bancroft is selling Rod on the Home Shopping Network. It's called a stroke.
Rod doesn't need any selling. Rod sells himself.
Okay. All right. Let's bring up Cerebrum. B Rose first campaign, Bancroft. What do you think? He's doing really well.
He's doing well. He could be doing better.
Jeez.
Get into that, Mike. What do you mean?
He had a good launch. It did sort of stall out at around 50-ish people. 50 people were very excited to get this. So as soon as we launched, we had that. I love that excitement moment. Numbers were coming in. Bang, 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 bang. But what I want to see after that is I want to see him continuing on that
Colors look great.
momentum.
Holy cow.
Elsewhere. Everyone's joking about the hashtag same 100. That's funny. I love that. But there's a lot more than 100 people out there who are willing to back books. And the quality is here on this campaign.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just needs more eyeballs. So I want to, and I know B Rose has been getting around. That's true. I've seen him, but more, man, more, and new ways of selling yourself on Twitter as well. It should be pretty constant. At least for the first 30 days, it should be pretty constant. So he's doing well. He could be doing better. He should be over 100 by now, considering what he's on offer and how well he's sort of known around in these parts. But at the same time, he did launch in the middle of the whole. Well, it was crazy. It was a launch every day. So I can't put lay the blame entirely on B Rose's feet. But solid start. Yeah. What's he on number wise?
I mean, he's fully funded. I think
I know. He got funded in a couple of days or something.
I think that's you gotta take a step back sometimes. I'm guilty of this, of always trying to do better than the last time. But for a first-time creator,
I was
get
going to say,
funded is your goal. It doesn't matter about anything else. Anything else is absolute gravy. Just get the book.
Wasn't a small
funded.
goal either.
No, like that's a massive goal. So congratulations, man. Now Mike's just saying hustle, get out there more, tweet more.
Yeah, you're not going to be in your first 30 days of the campaign often.
Yeah.
Be as absolutely shameless as you can. Like there's no one's going to think bad of you if you're just out there absolutely hustling all the time and thinking of new ways. So obviously the next thing I would do is like, okay, 100, we got to get there. What can we do? How can we keep that energy going to reach that 100, and then think what's next after the 100? Check out what the number is, or is there a stretch goal? There's always got to be something to keep it fresh. It can't just be back cerebrum.
Rivalries are good.
Like bring me back. Rivalries are great. You bounce off. I'm trying to beat this guy's back a number by this time, and it's a friendly thing, and you bounce off each other's audience, and
that's cool.
Carlos Moreno did a fantastic job on colors as B Rose. Greg Levitri's in the house. Good to see you, dude.
Is there something to be said about what you had mentioned just now, Mike, which is it was in that month where there was just so much packed into it by way of campaign launches?
There has to be. There has to be, because I'm like, anecdotally, I haven't backed a book since Tiger Blue, and that's not because I haven't seen campaigns that I wanted to back. It's just I went a bit crazy in January. February was nuts. I didn't go crazy in February, but I've got to like calm down. And I'm just I'm one guy. I'm sure there are other people out there who are like, yeah, because you hear them in the chat. They're saying, oh man, my wallet is really hurting watching all your streams and stuff. It must, people have to choose what they're going to back. I haven't backed Cerebrum yet. I plan on backing it, but I'm just waiting.
Shocking.
You know how it is. There's others ones that I want to back too, but that's how it is sometimes. There's just so many campaigns that there's too many to back.
Yeah, you hear it all the time that people say, like, lots of people say, not just one person, lots of people say like they have a limit of 2 books a month. So if you've got 4 launches in a week, it's going to be rough on someone.
Can I ask this? I don't know. I'm not sure if this represents you guys. I don't think it does. But is there something to be said? And I think Rob said it earlier. This is one of their first projects, right? That they've launched. Is there a tentative?
Book,
is there a tentativeness from a backer's perspective to be like, I don't know if this is gonna perform well. I don't know if this is something that I can get into right now, because it's their first one. They want to wait to see if there's any sort of consistency from the creator. Is there anything like that at all?
Yep, for sure.
Yes, but in this case, not as much, because this guy, his name is David Dominguez, aka Black Rose Comics. He's been hanging out in our, in all the chats and hanging out on the streams for like over 2 years now. He built up a channel from nothing, and now has over 1,000 subs. He streams regularly. He gets a crowd in there.
Does he
people
though?
like him?
Oh yeah, I mean they had me on their show in
There you
for
go.
Argentina 1, so it's
and so there's a lot of goodwill there. There's a lot of trust.
Good.
But yes, in general, yes, absolutely. Okay. There's that kind of first time jitters that people might have.
David Feed says, I want to back Arc Athena, but it doesn't ship to Switzerland. I think you've lost 2. You've lost a Switzerland backer and a Finland backer, Eric.
I know it. I wish I had a good answer for it, but I don't.
One day. Greg says, I received my Replicator books. You did a great job. I'm looking forward to Replicator 4. Thank you, dude. Clayton's in the house. Welcome back to Civilization, Rob. Thank you, man. I got to tell you about the crazy holiday at some point. But let's have a look at what Eric's drawing, and then we'll have a look a bit at some more campaigns. What's this, Eric?
This is issue
Arcathena.
6, so
Damn.
close your eyes if you want to not see anything from the closeout book. But I'm just banging away at it until I'm completely done. That way, I am the not the weak link of the reproduction pipeline. Where'd Rob go? Rob, check out.
Sorry, I was just sneezing. I thought you probably didn't want to hear it that much. Dave Brink says, do you offer Arcathena digitally for backers abroad?
Yes.
He mentioned this just before. He's doing digital through who again? Zest World?
Through Zestworld, yeah. So here's what Arcathena pages typically look like before I take them to ink, right? Here's a typical action. And it's only legible.
Glad
to
you
me.
can understand that.
That's just like that's a mess.
Yeah. Can you imagine what it looks like to Jules when I send it to him, you know?
Does
Oh,
Jules
sorry.
do his own flatting?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
He's
I mean,
a
more
poor
than
flatter.
more than
Oh my
he
gosh.
hates me, I think his flatter is just all the way done with me already.
Anton says, I'm getting less afraid about whether guys will fulfill, but more impatient with bad execution. That's fair. Yeah, sure. Gosh, this
I'm
was
not
good.
really afraid of people not fulfilling at all. I think that's really quite rare. Much more common is, time frames get blown out to crazy amounts. That's much more common, much more likely.
How do you mean, Mike? Time frames blow up?
Oh,
Everything.
stuff happens. Life gets in the way. People are first
I see.
timers. They don't know how long it takes to make a book. And I
Right.
did that. Lots of other people have done that. And then even pros, they change what they're doing mid go. Take Ethan, for example. I think the original Wrecked Planet was like 48 or 60 pages. By all accounts now, it's up over 100. And when
That's ambitious.
Exactly, when you know the kinds of pages he's doing, it's going to take time. Yeah. So there's a 1,000 different reasons why a book might be late. Groken. Kenneth had the finished PDF to the printers in October, and he just now in March got the thing saying the books have been printed and they're on their way.
Now, what is that? It's just that's a supply chain issue, or that's a printing issue. Okay.
Printing, supply chain and printing issue, and maybe he went with a printer that just sort of kept like maybe the price that he got because of the quantities that he's doing.
Yeah.
He had to be attached to something else, and how printers work.
Sure, but
they just keep
does
getting kicked down the line.
Does that roll into my original question of like people are careful and tentative, not necessarily because of their familiarity of the creator, but because of all the things that you just said compounded along with a first time creator?
Everything. People make decisions based on what they feel and what they feel about crowdfunding in general.
Yeah.
So yes and no. I mean, it's more related to what Antoine was talking about
The
than
execution part.
specifically what you were saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's the execution of the actual delivery of the book, but then there's also the actual book itself.
Right.
And I know Antoine has been vocally critical about writing and art and production and all that sort of stuff from certain people. So there's that too to think of.
It's a tough one, Mike. Something I've noticed too is like this affects you and I, but the shipping time it seems like a huge wait, like almost a month, and that doesn't even guarantee your book makes it to America within a month. Is that something that we need to be concerned about moving forward?
I know I wouldn't be concerned. I'd just factor it in.
It's
Like
crazy.
People aren't going to complain about how long it takes for the book to arrive if you shipped it out a couple of months early.
Yeah.
There's really nothing we can do about that. I mean, we can't create our own shipping lanes. That's not an option. So I think these last couple of years have been an anomaly, with the whole pandemic and everything. So I'm hoping that gets sorted, but I don't know if it will.
It's weird though, man, because like I've had books that have landed in the US like 3 weeks ago, and they're just sitting there, like they're not going to where they need to go. Did that happen to you as well?
Yep.
And they eventually
get there, but
okay,
yeah,
all
they
right,
eventually
cool.
get there. I had some sitting in Melbourne Airport for forever.
Oh, it's so weird, dude.
But yeah, I don't think there's much we can do about that.
Geek says, "Hail everyone, Rob, Mike, Eric is the best. Honestly, top 5 artists out there right now."
Thank you so much.
I won't say who. Bullet Ninja says, "I bought a book that was shipping in demand 2 months ago, and they just got around to shipping mine last week, which was pretty annoying. I hope that wasn't me."
Oh, that sucks.
What happened?
That's bad. Yeah, if you're in demand and you're saying you're shipping now, like, ship it now. It's not that hard, and all it takes is one customer who gets a raw deal to get vocal about it, and then that reputation can follow you around. It's not worth it. If you've got the book to sell and you're saying you're shipping it out, yeah, ship it out straight away.
So what was it again? Somebody had something in demand, which basically says that book is available. Somebody had one of a backer paid for it, and it took them 2 months to get it out to somebody.
I don't know how
2
long it
months
took
to
that.
ship it, like from their house.
Oh boy.
Well, they just 2 months ago, and they just got around to shipping it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
No good.
He was not happy. I have to read this. Mo says, "B-Rose owes us Quincy." What's that word, Eric?
Quinceañera.
Okay, with a pinata and a mariachi band and like half a dozen EFAPs. Every time I bring up the EFAPs, he starts him whoring, and that's sus.
Who's turning 15? Somebody you know is about to turn 15.
Communicate what is. I'm happy with the updates. I'm more than happy when I hear a book is going into fulfillment. It'll take what it takes. I get books all the time, so it doesn't matter how long an individual book takes. Yeah, I think there's lots of people feel differently on the subject, obviously.
Yeah.
I'll ship it right now after I finish Elden Ring. I think that's happening to a lot of creators are playing that game right now. Eric,
Yeah.
have you heard about the team Joe M. Sontag has put together for his first ever comic book?
No, tell me about it.
Okay, himself, Joe Weems on inks,
That's great.
and Kyle Ritter on colors.
Wow, fancy pants.
Is that not absolutely insane?
That's stacking the deck in your favor, pal.
I know. This is a Shelby Robertson trading card, which is fire.
Whoa,
Sick.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, I just found it when I was looking for his link. It's wicked, huh?
Yeah.
You can sign up
on that video that I did. Someone mentioned, what were we on? Was it you, Rob? So anyway, someone said Shelby is the most underrated.
Yeah, it was me. Of course, it's me. It's always me.
Underrated artist on that list. And I wish I had that art to put on there because I wanted to put something Ragetality, but Shelby is notoriously stingy in posting his art on Twitter.
He really is. Yeah.
Why is that?
He doesn't put high res.
I don't know.
No, he doesn't share it. Shelby doesn't promote himself.
I was gonna say, is it strategic because he wants to keep it for the campaign, or is it just he's bad at self-promotion? Or
I think it's that. I think he's just he's just not really into the whole self-promotion social media thing.
Yeah,
he's pretty good on stream though. Like I enjoy watching his streams. He's entertaining. Antoine says the coloring on that is brilliant as well. It's a great piece.
Who is the colorist on that?
Well, it might be him, man. He might have done it himself.
Yeah.
He's got the skill set to do it. Shelby's very humble. It's how he's wired. Yeah. So Arcathena, no. Reaper Destroyer, sign up to that. Cerebrum, back that. Should we check if he's got another backer? Anyone? Any takers? There we go. That's fantastic. one backer at a time. I backed this today, Perfect 10 by Dave Brink. I was very impressed with the quality of package I got from the first book 1 and 2, so I just backed it again. I really like Dave's character designs, Eric. I think they're interesting and they're unique and they're different.
It actually reminded me a little bit of Arcathena in that, I don't know if you're familiar with this book, Eric, but essentially Perfect 10 is a created character, as in like she's built by a scientist to be a weapon against, there's this, in this universe is building, there's just this whole array of different villains, and they're all like varied and they have wacky powers. The one of the most popular ones is a chick who's got these enormous fat stores, and she shoots them out at people. She shoots the fat at people. Yeah, exactly. Like, but it's really comic booky, yeah.
Right.
And people love it. Like, there's this whole, and now he's actually introducing, these are the heroes. So there's now going to be a whole bunch of heroes as well that have similarly wacky powers.
That's cool.
The main character, I think, is she's just enhanced. She's an enhanced human, but she was created for that sole purpose. Yeah. But he reminded me of, like, you know, Arcathena is similar in the way that, you know, you've got this whole slew of different characters with varying powers, and it's all really bright and colorful and comic booky.
Yeah.
But this is another book that receives almost universal praise wherever it's mentioned.
Good.
It does. You will find that certain backers say that this is their favorite book that they've backed from CG. So I mean, that's pretty high praise, which is very nice.
It seems like it's a lot of fun, right? It seems like it's you know, tongue in cheek, and it seems like there's the art is good, everything is clear and legible, and
great boob weight as well. Look at that, fantastic. the important parts.
Yeah.
Perfect 10. Yeah. Give this a look over, guys. Give it a back. He's doing pretty well. 117 backers. I reckon he could get more, though. I reckon he could do more. Let's have a look. Bancroft, I'm going to be the bigger person. Are you ready for this? Because you know I'm not a very big person.
Okay.
Tiger Blue, 26 hours left.
Damn. Rob.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
I love it.
Do you want to talk us through this, man? Because you're more experienced with it.
Can I just say, before I get into that, Kim Asabi sent out a tweet earlier that was just so well put. It said, "Comicsgate has taught me not to come between two people fucking each other. They're getting exactly what they want. If you join in, they might both finish on you." And I ascribe to that wholeheartedly. I'm glad you're just rising above the din and promoting what is really a standout product. That's Tiger Blue. This book is not going in demand. It is finishing. It's done, and then they've already got a launch date set for Tiger Blue 2.
Awesome.
And
he gets work done, man. He gets work done, doesn't he? Gets books made.
The reason I included Jose Garcia on that comics that has the best artists was because of Tiger Blue.
Yeah.
You know, he was otherwise sitting among the other 150 incredible artists working in CG, but the art on this book is Jose's, like, this is Jose in his element. And I can't get enough of it. And I'm so glad that they're really, it looks like they're just going to be pumping these things out. That's what you can do, I guess, when you work with Jose. He's super quick.
It's doing really well. I don't know how successful
what's it up to at the moment
have been, but this one is doing really well. He's up to 252 backers, which is incredible. It's a great effort.
Matthew Fowler has always struggled to find support here in CG. I don't know why. He's well liked, not by everyone. Shit, my stupid things are doing. What do they keep doing?
Mate, you've got to get rid of them. They are a piece of poo.
They are they weren't cheap either, but they're the worst. Anyway,
What are they?
Bluetooth headphones. They just don't work. They just keep cutting out.
They're a disappointment.
Anyway, yeah, Fowler's he's had trouble finding an audience here, and yeah, like I was actually really surprised. When he asked to come on the show, what was it for? Dixie Rose. I was thinking, oh, what's this going to be like? Because I'd never seen him on stream before, and he's been around forever. So I was like, usually when someone hasn't come on stream, there's a reason for that. They're not very personable or articulate, or they're a bit odd, or their camera setup's going to be woeful, whatever. And Fowler comes on with a kick-ass background, normal looking. I mean, looks a little bit like Ned Flanders, but I dig it. I dig his look. I dig the mustache. Super articulate, fun guy. Has great things to say. And I was just like, Fowler, what are you doing? Where have you been? Like, why are you hiding? You need to be out there. I said that to him after the stream ended. I was like, dude, you should be like one of the guys who were always on stream. You have that ability, so do it. And then,
Mike has never said that to me once. just for the record, he'd never said that to me once.
Well, he proved it on B Roses that day. But he's had these books, Prospectors and Dixie Rose, that have been, I mean, they're like A+ quality books in terms of art. I don't know how the story was or anything, but in terms of art, I mean, there's nothing bad to say about them. So I don't know why he hadn't really hit it, but it's probably got to do with the fact that it's the same with anything. Like, there's too much good stuff to back, and you can't back it all. So we all have to make choices. We all have to make decisions. And
I just don't think people knew about Prospectors, man. No one knew about Prospectors.
No, he Ninja launched it. He didn't tell anyone about it. He didn't even have a link to it, I don't think, on his Twitter.
Which is it
was like he was purposefully flying it under the radar. So he's obviously gotten a lot better since then. And I'm really happy to see that it's starting. The ball is starting to get rolling here with Tiger Blue. And once this gets in people's hands and that mailing list grows, I expect they got so much room to grow. I mean, 250 backers is great, but there's a lot of room to grow there. And there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to double that or more on the second one.
You can thank B Roses and Phoenix's, I don't want to say incompetence, but I'm going to, that created that whole meme, send Fowler the link, and that whole epic stream. It's kind of like his power.
Well, it was a joint effort, Did
you say incompetence?
They all did it together.
Competence.
Oh, competent, not incompetent.
No, it was incompetence. Yes,
it was pretty bad, Eric. You should go watch it. It was something. Jasper has a question for you, and I want to get to it because I'm falling behind with chat. So, Eric, will there be origin stories for Arc Athena characters at some point?
Yeah, I mean, not all at once, not all at the same time, because that would be a very boring miniseries. This first one focuses on the leads. This first story arc focuses on the leads. So between Divana and the Gristle, and then little tiny snippets or hints of it for the quote unquote supporting cast for this first arc, and then we'll dive into all the other ones in future arcs. So
scrolling back down, Canete Dwarf Aerith. I think B Rose is asking if you want to be a dwarf. In the next thing we're going to look at, Dwarves versus Lions, Eric. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but
only by title. And I thought, like, what a brilliant thing! I would have never thought of it.
It was originally called Midgets versus Lions, but
and then
you can't say that word anymore.
So this started as a question.
Yeah.
like you might have with your friends at a bar, who
Mhm.
would win in a fight, 50 dwarves or a lion? And then they start, well, what if the lion would still win? Okay, well, what if the dwarfs had like weapons? And then and then it just goes up and up and up, and then eventually you end up with like a diesel powered cyborg lion versus 50 rocket powered dwarfs, and it just gets
Yeah.
crazier and more zany. And these guys
Yeah.
did great because they included everyone on streams and in the chat. So like I'm on that box there. My dwarf is on that box, and
Right
there's
on.
Snuggy, and then there's Mo Biggs, and like all these guys in the chat, and you could buy a tier on it to become a dwarf. And the extra cool thing about it is it's the backers, because there's two tiers that you can buy, the lion tier or the dwarf tier. The
Mhm.
backers decide who wins in the end.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty
And
cool.
so, I think the lion's gonna win. I'm pretty sure.
I chose Lion. I'm Team Lion because
Me-
I want him to kill all the creators because that's fun.
and that's fun too, because they can come back as zombies, in the second one. But yeah, it's a really fun idea from Brian, who's a bit of a marketing and merchandising guru.
Yeah.
Um,
Sounds like.
Oh yeah, he knows all these things. Like he's builds websites and does all these crazy merchandising. He's the one who's making a lot of this stuff that we're able to do now possible, because he knows where to get it at an affordable rate for
Right on.
minimums that can work, for us. And yeah, it's good stuff.
That's cool. Well, good luck to them.
Someone said here, I'll just read it quickly. Tiger Blue, Tommy says, Tiger Blue does not extend. There is no in demand. Issue 2 is almost done. You got 26 hours to back it or it's gone. Did Brian say earlier that this is not going in demand either? And there's only
this
5
isn't
days
going in
left?
demand either. This isn't
Okay,
going
so
in demand
that's
either.
gone in 5 days as well. Gun Demon, Greg Levitri is in chat. 10 days left, 66 backers. Is a fair way away from that flexible goal, Bancroft. What are you thinking here?
Well, look, again, when this book launched, despite the hiccups, the art speaks for itself. Looks great. The concept sounds great. Greg is a real passionate guy, but he hasn't been the most visible. He hasn't been like he does tend to sort of disappear for a while, and we've all been guilty of that at some point in time in the past. He's added a lot to this campaign, actually. And see, look, all of this stuff looks really cool. But, we say this time and time and time again. You can literally have the best book going. If people aren't aware of it, or other people have done what I call the ground game, which is, hitting the streets, knocking on doors, kissing babies, every day for years on end, then you're going to suffer because of that. And then Greg says, that is true. He did cop that. He did cop a permaban on Twitter. So, I'm not blaming Greg. I'm just saying, like, that's one explanation as to why. And as well, we were talking earlier, like this is a first book from a creator, and the goal is quite high. And look, I don't have any advice to give around that, because I know how expensive these things are to produce, and if you don't have that capital up front, that's a monumental risk to put out there. And to you promise a book, and it's a certain thing, you've got a low goal, and then you can't produce it. I mean, then you're done. Then you're Critias. So
is this one of those situations, you guys, where they put that, it's a flexible goal? Are they still compelled to produce this book if it doesn't meet that. What is that? 13K? Am I
You're not
reading that correctly?
compelled. You're not
Yeah.
compelled. You can issue refunds
I
and
gotcha.
just say, hey, we're going to try it again, in
Right.
6 months. And a lot of
Right.
people have done that and they've succeeded. And there's no shame in that. And people
Right.
No.
actually,
No, I agree.
people actually, it can actually end up being good in a sense that they say, okay, this guy isn't just here for a quick buck. He's here to put out this book and he's going to come hell or high water, get it done.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys who have done that. So it's not obviously it's not optimal, but
Yeah.
it's not the end of the world if something doesn't fund and then you
Launch it again
I'll end up getting it funded. Exactly. So yeah, it is what it is. He's not the first to find himself in this situation, certainly not the last. A book that I was really looking forward to last year, Columns of Creation, is in the same predicament.
It's
and,
definitely like I would say you need to have a funding goal, which is the minimum amount it takes to get the book made and shipped.
Yeah.
Right.
Putting a low goal just so you can make it, and then it's funded, and now you're in a situation where you can't afford to actually produce the book is the worst possible scenario of all worlds. Do not put yourself in that situation. So Greg will be fine. He'll figure it out. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. There's tons of others. What's the Santa book? Bric-a-brac. I don't think that guy has put out a campaign that's funded first time round. Every single one of his campaigns is had to come back for a second bite of the cherry.
Yeah.
And he's succeeded, and the books are great. I can't recommend them enough, actually, those books. But for some, I know it's for some reason. I mean, they're Christmas books, so some people just aren't going to be into that. And he doesn't have the biggest audience. There's a whole slew of reasons why they might not be getting funded, and they're large goals again.
Right.
But there's no way around that. These things are expensive.
I was gonna say they put up the goal that the money that they're putting in the goal is exactly what they need to get the books made, right? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Jasper says Columns of Creation was a very complex campaign. Antoine says, I think the first time creators should have a goal under 10K unless they've got a high profile. Raiden says, I love Alejandro, but I can't hear Columns of Creation and not think it's a Christian rock band.
Man, that book had, and I'm not usually big into the whole a character design thing as much as you guys are.
I love it. It's my favorite thing.
I loved the character designs on that book. It just took me right back to my very first ever footsteps into a bigger world of comics, so like Dark Horse type comics. Whereas before then I was just Spidey and Ghost Rider. But you step outside that and you find more adult stuff or whatever. I thought that book had some of the best character designs that I've ever seen, really. He's still out there. I mean, he's pounding the pavement, he's streaming, and he'll get it done.
It's really tough, man, though. Like, you look at my campaign or your campaign, Bancroft, and people see, like, I've got 770 something backers, you had over 1,000. But even, and you see us on streams all the time, Michael even more than me. But the amount of views on that your actual page got, Mike, is not a huge amount. Like, there's no way you would have had more than 20,000 people look at that page.
Oh, no. Yeah, definitely not. Definitely.
So it's really hard to get seen, man. It's really hard to get people to the page.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
I don't know what the actual number is, but yeah, it's somewhere between 10,000 and 15,000.
So with Arc Athena, if you haven't backed it, you can pick up this tier here, which is 1 and 2.
Yep.
Looks like 11 people have already done so.
Mm-hmm. That's encouraging, actually. People who came back and said, "Hey, I missed out on the first campaign.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to take a chance this time around." It's got great word of mouth, and hopefully they enjoy it.
It does. I think it's one of Jasper's favorite books. Don't quote me if I'm wrong, Jasper, but if you want to correct me or confirm, that'd be
Jasper
awesome.
is a real stickler for quality as well. So if
He
you're
is,
getting
yeah.
recommendations from Jasper, you're doing something right.
That's awesome.
One thing you might want to consider doing, Eric, towards the end of the campaign is moving this tier up to the featured tier, the book 1 and 2. I found that pretty much all my backers now that back, I know I'm in demand, so it's not the same thing, but all the backers I get now are new backers. Like
That's
all
cool.
the people that, yeah. So
Are you saying near end of campaign?
yeah. Maybe. I'm not saying do it. I'm saying just think about it. Maybe.
This is I was just talking to Mike about this the other day, or what is it? Oh, on launch when I was streaming. This is what you always do to me. You go like, you give your feedback as if it's like, this is the thing, the formula, it's gonna work just like this. This is the recipe, and I go and do it, and then you go, I don't know why you listen to me, man. You don't have to listen to me. It's
These are all guidelines. These are all just guidelines. And no, that's true though. Like we say things like you might actually be above our sort of target audience when we say a lot of this stuff. Like there's guys who are just, they exist above what we're saying.
Yeah.
Malin, Shane, Ethan. I'm not saying you're there yet, but in terms of, usually we're dealing with people who have 1,000 Twitter followers,
right,
who don't have a YouTube channel, who might be on their first and second book. So that these are just guidelines. A lot of what we're saying, it is kind of take it or leave it, and it's definitely not a one size fits all. A guy like Von Klaus is really bucking the trend. He doesn't have a YouTube channel.
sure.
It's word of mouth, it's book quality, it's coolness, it's all that sort of stuff, and
he's really good at selling his book, though.
Incredible. Exactly, that's the thing.
He's really good at it,
and that's another thing that we take into account. We're assuming most people aren't going to be that good at selling themselves or their book, because most people aren't. Most people don't have a really infectious personality that's going to get people to pay attention to what they're doing. So that's sort of the premise that we work from most of the time.
Yeah.
So some of that applies, some of that doesn't.
I see that. I'm just busting Rob's chops in that case, because it seems so like this is it. This is the.
I have really strong opinions on things, obviously.
Clearly.
But I also don't want to be responsible for if you fail. So listen, I'm leaving that up
I'm
to
already
you.
holding you responsible.
You said you're going to head off soon. Are you anything you wanted to say about Arc Athena while you're still here?
Nothing that's not already on that page, except thank you to the people who have backed. Thank you for spreading the good word. Thanks to the both of you for always having me on whenever the opportunity presents itself. So just a bunch of thanks, and hopefully we got this is still a month long. So if I've learned anything from the first campaign, is not to really get wound up about between now and end of campaign. It's just going to do what it's going to do. I'm going to continue to promote it as best as I can in whatever capacity that's available to me. And I think that consistency is what leads to a version of success, right? So I'm happy about that. Thank you, everybody.
The hidden success in a lot of this is consistency.
Yeah. That
is a massive thing that is incredibly difficult to achieve properly, and most people fail on it. So if you can do that, at the very least, you have a real shot at
but that's the plan, right? 6 issues. It has, there's a reason why I don't go into in demand. There is a reason why, Jasper just said it right now, where it's like, there's a reason why I'm running a very lean campaign with not a ton of bells and whistles, because I don't want it to, first of all, I don't want it to get overwhelming, and just sort of the logistics of fulfilling any and all of that. There's plenty of opportunities there where something could fall through the cracks, and now we're delayed by another extra month because a vendor or a printer doesn't do X, Y, and Z perfectly, right? As far as I had made plans to get around signing each of the backer books, but unfortunately, travel restrictions and just scheduling wasn't presenting to me. So the plan was to sign these little what would you call it, like remark cards, and have them inserted in every book. But that wasn't an elegant solution. So we just said, rather than trying to make up for something that doesn't really help the value, I'd rather leave it out and hopefully get to it later on when those travel restrictions aren't as draconian, at least from where I am.
Fair enough. Awesome, man.
Thanks for having me.
Tales of Nova Terra. This is
You're gonna let Eric go?
Yeah,
I'm gonna excuse myself.
See you, mate. See you next time.
Have a good one. Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Tales of Nova Terra. This is Passion's project, correct?
This is a passion project from Passion. Yes.
Passion.
Yep.
From Passion.
Another book. Oh
Good
man,
art.
I just
Look at this.
Oh, he's collected a murderer's row of some
Ooh.
of my favorite artists on this thing. I don't know. It
Joe Ball.
really is a sensational looking book. I don't know why it's not doing better. He's out there promoting it. He's getting out there. I'm hoping it gets funded before the end of this period.
Why is this image blurry to me? Like all the rest are like clear. This one is slightly blurry.
I don't know. You have to ask Passion that. Mo Big says it's the power of TikTok.
Oh, Dave says it. He goes, I appreciate any comic where chicks look like chicks and men look like men.
You get that in spades.
Hell yeah. I haven't backed this, but I may do so.
I haven't backed it either. Again, I'm just not in a place right now where I can be backing books justifiably.
Well, it's like what we said before, man. Like we can only back a certain amount of books.
Yeah.
And you know what? I can't afford to back like 6 books a month. Like I'll back one.
That's what I did
two.
in January. I went crazy, and now I'm paying the price.
Yeah, I went on holiday. I'm trying to catch up with all the things I've launched. I backed Arc Athena, I backed Cerebrum, and I backed Perfect 10 all yesterday. So, or today, mixture of the 2 days. Anyway, it's hard keeping up, man. Things are coming out thick and fast, and stuff is looking good.
Yeah. Look, it's a fantastic looking book from creators with a proven track record. I don't know what else to say. I hope it funds soon.
Sumo says backed 10 books in Jan and 14 in Feb. It's been an expensive start to the year. That's crazy.
Sumo's been going nuts. Sumo, Nick Rose, Admiral Wackass. A lot of these guys have been going berserko out there on the backings.
It's bananas. Are there any more campaigns you guys want me to bring up in chat? I want to bring up all the campaigns from people that are here. So if I've missed anyone, please let me know. I don't want anyone to feel like they've been left out. Just got back from holidays. I'm feeling good. I want people to feel loved.
Oh, speaking of love,
probably bring this back up, huh?
Speaking of love, did you see my show at all today?
No, I did not see it at all. Why? What happened today?
A favorite topic of yours, CG Now. I want to share something with you, Rob. I want to share something. I was contacted by a incredibly helpful, valuable member of the community,
Mm.
one Nodsabot,
Mm-hmm.
and he says,
It's not me
He
getting
said-
thrown under another bus, is it? I don't think I can handle it, Bancroft. I need something happy today.
he heard me complaining that I didn't really have the time or necessarily the know-how
Mm-hmm.
to easily pull off all the things that we want to do on CG Now. So he took-
That's the first time you've ever said a we.
I'm not talking about you and I, Rob.
Oh,
I
you're
mean the
such an
royal we,
a-hole.
the royal we, us. It's Comicsgate.
You're
What
such a
everyone
dick.
wants from CG Now. And so he took it upon himself and did it for me. Now this is just a mock-up. This isn't what it would look like, but what it shows is that the functionality.
Okay.
Let me share it. So you
We'll
let me know what you think here.
We'll come back to Nawalum. Did I get it right that time?
Sort of. I learned how to say eudaimonia.
Eudaimonia.
Yeah. Eudaimonia is how it's pronounced.
Eudaimonia.
Well, that's how Raiden.
All right. Okay. Hit
Okay,
me.
so-
what do we got? So the way I originally thought of the idea was like every campaign owner would submit 2 or 3 tags for their comic. So,
Mhm.
for example,
I've had them doing that. Yeah, I've had them putting
Shanu
in.
would be monster action.
I would say horror.
Horror. Okay.
But anyway,
so-
I've had
yeah.
them. Anyone who's submitting, like you can't see it on this one because it's not real. But hang on, where can I see now? Submit, not webmit, submit. There we go. Yeah, so choose a genre. So I've got a bunch of genres on here. I can add in monster, whatever. And even an age clarification, like all ages, whatever. And the team, so I've got all the names of the people on the team. I can find a tagline or whatever. But anyway, so yeah, I've got the image, the title. I've got a lot of stuff we can use. Is the point? And
all right, well,
so
show
yeah,
us how it works. Click the button.
I don't know if there's a search function, but I'm sure he could help me out with that. But
Click
there's
sci-fi.
definitely a like a category
sick.
selection. So everything, and this is all happening automatically, and it's super fast. There you go. So, and it's all sorted like that. And the cool thing is, I think when you refresh it, let me see if I do it here. Look at that. I know. Did it work? I know it only happens on the all. Okay, so if I refresh it,
Yeah.
look, they change order randomly.
That's really cool. Yeah, I think that's
So-
like one of the things I wanted most. Like everyone gets a fair shot. Like it doesn't.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
have to
Because I
be
was doing
people at
that
the top.
manually, and
Yeah.
it was we're getting it, doing it once a week or whatever.
What's my book under Bancroft? I didn't see it then.
I don't know if he added it. Did he add it? Is it in there? Oh yeah, it's under action.
Oh yeah, sweet.
So I think you can click from there. Oh no, it's just taking you directly to it. All right. And look, when you hover over it, it comes up with the name and where it's gonna take you, so people can actually see where they're going.
That's cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I like it.
So I'm gonna edit the look. I want it to look pretty much exactly how it looks at the moment, but the functionality is pretty bang on.
I like it better. Like I said, like Netflix. So you'd have like action, and there would be like the top 4, and then the
you'd
next
scroll
one would
down.
be
Yeah.
adventure or whatever, and then that would be the next lot. Yeah, people are asking, can you have the same title under different genres?
I mean,
Is
yeah,
the
I'm sure
book
you
under
can.
multiple genres?
I'm sure you
That
can.
this was a great idea of yours, Rob. Thanks, Dave. I'll remember that.
What? I'm sure you can.
Can't you
I mean,
just
I haven't.
hover over one of them and doesn't it show you what tags it is?
Yeah, well, it's only got the one, so I don't know if there's
Oh,
like
okay.
I don't know how easy it is to edit that because I haven't checked out the HTML yet. But he said it's super easy. All I have to do is basically put the data into the actual HTML page, and it'll just upload automatically. And if anyone, like for whatever reason, a book sells out, or they're whatever, it needs to come off the site. It's just a matter of taking that out of the page.
Mate, the things that could be done with this site could be amazing. It really could. Once it's all set up and it looks all schmick and perfect, we put some advertising money behind it. We could actually really grow CG with this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I'll get this implemented, and then let's get it to 100 titles. I mean, it's already up to 68, I think. And then let's put some money into it. Maybe get a little pool of creators and someone who knows advertising. Like maybe we talk to Brian.
Yeah.
But yeah. Are we gonna chat about the calendar, or is that a sore spot?
Dude, the sore spot is the you know my moral codes, Bancroft. You understand. I think everyone should be given a fair shot. People should be credited for their work. Bancroft shouldn't just claim all my ideas as his own and then not mention me at all. I think that's pretty clear.
But
I've got a question for you, right?
With the hang on. With the calendar.
No.
Okay,
I just want a question for you. If it was someone else that came up with the idea, would you credit them, or are you just doing it to annoy me?
What are you reading here on this tweet? Well, I'm going to find it. Where the hell is it? What do you read on this tweet?
I CG now.
I said I was just catching up on CG Talk, as in I'm watching a YouTube show. I'm catching up on it because I couldn't watch it live. And they, that means Crackhead, Snuggy, Aldous. Who else is on CG Talk? Who am I forgetting? OC Steve, whoever the guest was. They were talking about a place where it would be great to see all the campaign launches in one place. I acknowledged that their idea was a good one.
Why won't you acknowledge my idea?
Because you weren't on CG Talk. Would I also acknowledge Amanda, who does this, and everyone else through the history of Comicsgate who's had this idea? Would I acknowledge them as well?
But Bancroft, we literally talked about it weeks ago on the show. So you've somehow
I don't know.
You've somehow forgotten that, and then gone and listened to this show and go, oh, you know what? That's a cracking idea. I might just steal that and then do it myself on CG now. Rob is a talker. Michael is a doer. David says, thank you, Michael, for your effort.
So here's the point of what I'm saying is I never once claimed anywhere at any time that this was my idea, ever.
CG now?
The launch
or the calendar. It's a calendar. Who cares? What about CG now?
Exactly.
That's the big one.
Who cares?
Me, because everyone should get what's the word I'm looking for? the credit that they're due when they come up with ideas. Rob needs to feel.
If
Rob
you
needs to
recall,
feel good
Rob,
about
if you
himself.
recall, what was the first name of CG Now? Do you want to go back there? Do you remember what it was called?
No, I don't.
It was
remember.
called cgmall.online. And I put that out there, and it was almost universally poo-pooed from the chat.
And
Universally.
Phil came up with a great idea for it, a great name for it, and you don't credit
we
him
acknowledge
either.
that.
No, you don't.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
You're not following me around all day. Maybe you are. I don't know. But clearly you're not, because you would know that I do often.
Why would I
say,
follow you around
Phil,
all day?
Well, I do often say it was Phil's idea. And anytime it's brought up, Phil will let everyone know it was Phil's idea.
That's right.
Rob had no hand in the name CG Now. No hand.
Just the concept of it.
Well, bits of it. It all these ideas, as I say, they're floating around in the air. All you have to do
Does
is
Mel
pluck
get
them out of the
infuriated
air
with you?
and put them onto a computer.
What do you like to work with in the office? Do you have like a team and they come up with a good idea, and then you walk in the boss's office and you're like, "Listen, boss, I've come up with this cracking idea."
Mo has a good point here. Why are you such a glory hound, Rob?
I just think everyone should get credit for their ideas. That's all I want. It's all I'm asking. But on a different note, Bancroft, because we're never going to agree on this one. Someone messaged me today, and I'm going to bring up back Noalim. This is not what we're talking about here. But ninja launches, why are people doing it? It's annoying people.
I don't see him that often anymore. But a lot of what happens, sometimes what's called a ninja launch is just someone didn't really promote that much. But it does happen. I think Dojo did a ninja launch the other week, or the other couple of weeks ago. Why are they doing them? I don't know. Because whenever you bring it up, they go, "Yeah, I ninja launched this."
Why?
And we should probably get someone on who's done a ninja launch and ask them what their rationale was. I know that Shant was so worried that he would screw something up that he launched like 3 hours before the show.
It was lucky he launched on your show and not mine, right? Obviously, your audience is bigger than mine. But if he'd done that to me, I would have been like a deer in headlights. I would have not known what to do. But you played that off pretty well. Is it dropped out again? This is unbelievable.
It only happens during your show. It didn't happen during my show.
Your husband, Mel, is absolutely infuriating. I don't know how.
You were saying that if it happened on your channel, you would have known what to do. Well, you just got to roll with it. You got to stay light on your feet.
Nora's Saga.
Launching a book. Because every now and then, it's not going to work the way you intend. Or, like, some launches are super high energy. There's backers coming in thick and fast. We spend half the show just, thanking people for backing. And that's great. We love that. Sometimes the button goes live and there's a trickle.
Oh, it's rough, isn't it, man? There was a campaign you launched. I was concerned that it was not going to get a single backer during the whole show. Lucky it didn't pan out that way, but it was touch and go for a while. That must be hard. Like, what do you do? How do you do it?
I mean, what can you do? You just roll with it. You put a spin on it, and what can you do? Everyone knows that it's not, but everyone has an inkling going in how well something's going to go anyway. People know. They're around. They know if something's going to go crazy and something's going to go, going to be a struggle. So they're probably a bit mentally prepared anyway. You just gotta go with it.
Do you think? I'm sure there is the situation where someone goes on your show and they're expecting it to do a lot better than it actually does. Has that ever come back to you? Like someone's gone, no. So it hasn't happened to you yet. It will happen though.
I don't know about that. I think everyone's pretty cool. Everyone understands the game. Like they call it the Bancroft bump, but I'm just the venue. It's up to the guys in the chat. It's up to
just a venue.
whoever's
when have you not
promoting
claimed the Bancroft bump as your own?
Well,
Mo says, I feel like Rob is building up for an epic breakup with Bancroft, only for Bancroft to get confused. Rob, we aren't in a relationship.
This does feel a bit like that. No, everyone understands. Everyone's pretty cool. And look, I feel for people who hope for more and want more but don't receive more. I've been in that situation plenty of times throughout my life, and it sucks. You feel like
so has Mel, I'm sure.
You feel like you're rejected. You feel like there's something wrong with you or whatever. More likely is there's a whole bunch of other factors going into it that you're not really in control of as much as you think you are. But I don't know. I think everyone's sort of figured out the landscape by now. You know what I do get? I get occasionally. I'll get people who message me or who show up in the chat. And I see them for the first time ever, and they're like, "Oh, this is great." They see indie books raising $5,000 on a stream, and they're like, "Oh, I want to do this as well." And they do think so. They're not like CG guys. They're just sort of looky-loos. They see, oh, there's something going on here, and they're walking by on YouTube, and they pop, they take a look, and they're like, yeah, I want to get in on this action. How do I get on this show to get this money? And anytime they ever actually DM me and ask me, I'll say, well, you got to come hang out in the chat. You've got to become part of this whole thing, because even if you got on the show, it's not really going to mean what you think it's going to mean. All these guys here that you're seeing, they've put in their time.
Yeah. It's definitely not a quick buck.
It's the hardest way that I can think of to make money. I can't think of any more difficult way. It's actually pretty crazy. I mean, you really have to love it and invest inordinate amount of time into it, with no guarantee whatsoever of any of that time being returned to you, and definitely not that money. But make comments, they're awesome.
No one has taken up a date with Kelsey. I'm surprised.
It's a bit steep. I'm not going to lie. I would love to go hang out with Kelsey at his place.
Why isn't Kelsey on Camel Nights? He'd be a good fit for Camel Nights.
We would love Kelsey. When we first lost John, we were like, dream scenario, Cecil or Kelsey. Cecil doesn't stream that night. He has commitments. Kelsey is, I mean, he's Kelsey. Is he going to
He's
be
a-
there? Is he
he's a
not?
leaf
Is he
in
going
the
to disappear
wind.
for 3 months? He's a leaf in the wind. But yeah, Kelsey would be incredible. But we have to remember where we stand on the pecking order, I think. You know, we're a good show. We're a great show. I think we're probably the best show. But we're a new show, and you know, it's not like we're these massive names like those guys are.
I love how just easily you just knock me down a few pegs every time.
Rob, it's not all about you. I didn't. You notice I also knocked my own show down there. Although I do stand by my statement that the Dong drawing stream was the best drawing stream of the year, and I'm not expecting it to be topped.
That is it is. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. It was a fun time. Dojo Kun's the shifter could use a push. Yeah, I'll bring that up too. Send Todd McFarlane the link. You've had a lot of good shows, Bancroft. You're actually pretty decent at streaming. I'll give you that.
You'd hope so after 500 shows. I figured some things out. I certainly didn't start that way. But I did nothing revolutionary. I just turned up. Consistency. I listened to the chat. I watched the numbers. I watched other people. I learnt a lot from watching Ethan and John and others. And then you just implement it and you turn up every day, well, whenever you're scheduled to do it, and you do it.
Yep. But you're a talker too. Like you're good at talking.
I'm no one who knows me in real life would say I'm a talker.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, whenever we hang out backstage before the show, you basically ignore me the whole time. So, I mean,
that's me normally. Yeah.
That is understandable.
I'm not a different person in real life. It's just the way I describe it is I sort of take my personality dial and just turn it up.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I might be like if I was a little bit tipsy at a party or something, you know, just a bit more me. That's how I describe it.
Okay, Janice Hardy's Helium Wars Book 1, The Shifter by Dojo Kun. I actually like this puzzle piece comic page. Do you like this?
The interior art on this book is very respectable. It's really high quality. The cover,
which is the cover,
isn't as good.
This, yeah.
It's so.
This image is a struggle for me.
Yeah.
There's too much going on. I don't know where to go, and I don't know. It's not like this is the first thing people see, this image here. Mm-hmm. So you look at my campaign or your campaign, whoever's campaign is generally the best image that people have. I think he could improve on that. Like even this is better.
There's so many skills that I have acquired over a long career that I just take for granted completely.
Yeah.
Graphic design, you know, all that. And there's an eye that comes along with that. Sort of an eye for layout and all that sort of stuff. But I cannot fault the interiors. They really are great. Most book adaptations are usually, like, I have high hopes of book adaptations.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I feel like stories that are based on books are usually pretty good. Not always, but usually. And I like the idea. I like the premise, the character. I mean, it's a chick who's in casual clothes with special powers. I mean, you would think it's right up my alley.
Yeah.
yeah, I guess the design of the page, it isn't screaming back me now.
This would be a better image too.
That's the image that I put on the thumbnail. I think that's like because I mean it says
Yeah.
it says everything. This is okay. This is the main character. It's focused. It's well drawn. She's got powers. These are what they are. Yeah. So that's why I went with her for the thumbnail.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of the logo either.
What's the logo on the book?
The logo on the book. Let's have a look.
Go back.
Like that.
Yeah, I wonder why they didn't just go with that first one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, that's Dojo and Janice Hardy's book. I'll chuck the link in chat.
She was cool. We got her on the channel.
That was cool. Noalim,
she was like, you always worried. Like, remember what happened on B Roses?
Yeah.
Could the Shifter beat up Ella right now? Yes, absolutely. Ella wouldn't stand a chance right now. But eventually, who knows? I'd have to look more into the Shifter's powers.
Noalim Bancroft's pretty good. Eudemonia's pretty. What's the word?
Eudaimonia.
You don't.
Well, it's ancient Greek, so there's no
right.
you can just pronounce it however the hell you want because it's an English translation of a Greek word. So it would have been originally written in Greek, whatever they're called. I can't remember the name. So you can pronounce it however the hell you want.
I really like this image. I don't know. I'd like to see that somewhere more prominent, but I don't know how it ties into the book. Like it says next project cover reveal, but it's a really nice image. I don't know if you can put it somewhere else. Still, he's got 104 backers, man. Still 6 days
Braden's
ago.
doing great. He's doing great. He's streaming a lot.
Good.
He's getting himself out there. He's following the path now. The same path that we've all followed, and we're all just walking down a different, we're at a different place. But yeah, he's doing great, and he's talking about his the follow up to number 3, issue 3 of what did I say? Eudaimonia.
You die on Mia.
It's like a diamond. That's how I remember it. Eudaimonia. Like a diamond. Just remember that.
You got to give props to him, man, because he's making books. Like, what's he done? He's done.
He's done 4
books. That's a lot more than most people. So it's impressive. 5, including this one. So great tagline.
At the
Jasper
top
says. 90-page noir detective graphic novel set in 1920s Harlem.
Oh, I thought it was at the top.
You wouldn't like that storyline of Bancroft.
Probably not, but not because of reasons that you say.
Oh God! And how is chat? What's going on with you guys? I've been away. I've missed you.
Did you miss streaming?
Yeah, it feels like we haven't streamed in ages, man. Before today,
Whenever I take a day off, I come back, I get nervous, and I'm like, "This is what's gonna happen?" I get that. It's weird.
I'm really enjoying our Monday show, Bancroft. I think it's fast becoming my favorite of the week, honestly. Like, I enjoy this show. This show is great, but I don't know. There's something about the Monday show that works as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm liking it. Having fun.
Aethelone says, is EVS still streaming? I don't know. Oh, he is. Oh, that explains a lot.
Didn't you know Ethan was streaming?
No, I'm like, where is everyone? Normally we have more people than this. So they're all watching Ethan, which is cool. So, dude, I went on holiday up to Queensland. We got there about like 2 or 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Went for a swim. It was sunny. The next day, it started to rain, and it didn't stop raining the entire time we were there.
Was it
rained.
real, like bucketing down?
It was just non-stop. It
Queensland
rained 6 months worth of rain in 2 days. The whole place was flooded. People died. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, and people need to realize Queensland is like Florida. It's very hot. It's very humid. It's a semi-tropical climate. So 6 months of rain is it's a wet place.
Yeah.
Already.
Jose Garcia says, I'm listening to this instead of playing Elden Ring because making comics. Yeah.
Go get it, Jose. I'm there with you.
You're not a gamer though, Bancroft.
I'm working.
I feel like you need some sort of hobby outside of this. Something to give your mind a break.
I got kids.
Eric says, I'm struggling to get back into drawing again after taking a break for a while. It's really hard once you take a break.
Ethan mentioned that the other day when he was watching that video. He was like, when you stop doing art, he said that artists are like a rusty old lawnmower. It's going to be tough, but you got to figure out a way to get them started again, because you can't just stop for a long period and then get back into what you were. You got to build up to that daily grind. That's a real thing.
I think this cover is possibly one of my favorite covers for a while.
Yeah, it's pretty rad.
I saw that
because I'd seen the black and white. I hadn't seen the color. When I saw that, I was like, all right, damn, okay. And he spoke about this. He spoke about the concern with you can't phone it in in a single book. There's less likelihood if the books are coming out once a year or even later that you're going to phone it in, because you got all that extra time to put all that extra effort into it. But every 3 or 4 months you're pumping these things out. You can't just be phoning it in. Each one has to be a knockout punch. Otherwise, that's where the crack happens, and that's where the energy starts to sort of flow out of it. And people just think, "Oh, I'll get on the next one." Like you really got to punch people in the face and make them sit up and notice, and keep them coming back.
Yeah, like I'm doing the best that I can to make the best book that I can, and I'm new, and it's going to get better as we go along, like it is for you. I hope one day that both of us can put out a book that looks this polished. I'll
never put out a book that looks like this, though.
No, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like
it's not your style, but you can still hit the heights, just in a different way.
Yeah. But it's pretty friggin' rad.
Yeah.
I guess your boy Zach was talking the other day. He did a video about how comics were better when they were colored like this thing. Hang on, is this gonna be it? Yeah, like this. Just like mostly flats with a little bit of
Yeah, like I can get that because sometimes colors can get way too overcomplicated.
That's what he was saying. It's like not everyone can, because what you're doing is you're handing the colorists, whereas before they were constrained and they had to use their talent to create something that works out of what they had. But like now you just let anyone just have full access to the whole store, and they might not have the skill, but now they're relying on all these effects that they can do and blah blah blah. So yeah, mileage varies greatly on the modern coloring. But I feel like when I was looking at Arc Athena, I was like, this is something new entirely. Like, this is really good. I don't want to say it's a paradigm shift or anything, but it's it's a demonstration of what is possible with modern coloring.
It kind of feels like you know how Ethan and Kyle are like a dynamic duo. It kind of feels the same with Canete and Jules. Like they seem to work really, really well together.
Yeah,
It's
totally.
awesome. Someone picked up a new backer, Noalim did, which is awesome. B-Rose is 6 away from 100. Great cover by Joe M. Sontag. Dude, I don't know how he's going to go with his book, but his page rate must be astronomical.
It's got to be up there. I feel like I'm paying a lot, and I'm just paying an artist.
Yeah,
I'll be coloring it myself.
Yeah.
So,
like I could have a guess at what his page rate would be, but I reckon it's going to be somewhere like. And don't forget, like he's only paying for inks and colors. Like he's not paying an actual page rate for the actual pencils. I reckon he's like somewhere between $400 and $500 a page, which is absolutely bananas.
yeah, and you and I say that, we're talking US dollars. So to us, even more.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy. But look, I hope the book is awesome. I mean, there's no reason why it wouldn't be. I mean, you look at that new Shelby piece. If it's going to be of that caliber, that's one way to do it. If you have the means, just go all out like that.
Yeah.
Not everyone is going to be able to do that. In fact, most people aren't.
Yeah.
But shit, I don't like. It's very rare that you see stuff like that being made in the indies by guys who aren't, weren't already doing that out, in the mainstream already for decades. So it'd be interesting to see how it goes.
I feel like the quality of books is getting better in general. I think
the art is getting better. You'll see.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not commenting on the stories. That's for the people to decide themselves. But yeah, the art is really getting there. Mike, I'll let you decide if we do this. Oz Great Sage, MTM Shield, help a kid out. Fizz Shield, my artist is bad and back at your own risk. People are wanting me to bring it up. I'm pretty sure I saw that. Confirm in the chat if you want me to bring up that campaign.
No, we don't want to bring up that campaign.
Mike the Gatekeeper. Jasper says,
yes,
I compare...
I'm gatekeeping Fizz Chozo from this channel.
Wow. You heard it here first. I compare the colors on Arc Athena to Creed. I didn't get Creed. So I couldn't agree with you or disagree. Jaro says, Arc Athena is the best Eric Canete's art has ever looked in comics. Looks pretty damn good. Mo says, Rob, 2 was my favorite replicator issue, but 3 was still decent. Fair enough. I understand that.
Mo says, yes, do it.
Do it. It's a learning experience. Reaper Destroyer, sign up. Anything else you want to cover, Bancroft?
I've got the big 500 show thing happening this Saturday on my channel. I'm going to be launching memberships. I'm hopefully going to have a teaser trailer to play. God, I hope I can get that done. And that would be launching my mailing list for Painted Death. So it should be a pretty big night if I can get it all finished.
When are you launching the mailing list for Painted Death?
Well, hopefully this Saturday. Saturday for you and I. Friday night
Wow.
for everyone else.
Okay, that's soon. And when are you launching the campaign? Like roughly.
Mid-year,
So like
hopefully.
3-month sign up to launch type thing.
That's what I'm hoping. We'll see.
Mm.
We'll
Okay.
see.
Tommy says, with great art, I do suggest people get more done before campaign, as the better the art is in almost every case, it does take a ton of hours to do. So even a 32-pager will take months. So true, man. It's so true. I've heard people say, like, why can this person whose art is terrible get a book done while Ethan can't? And like Ethan's art is as detailed gets. So it's not comparing the same thing. So you're definitely right, Tommy. Good art does take a lot of time. Maybe people should prepare for that a little bit more. It's not the easiest thing. Why? Mo says, why are you worried about showing Goofanoid? RG is a huge channel and he launched it and it didn't hurt him. I mean, sure, he immediately privated the stream. Did he? No, he didn't really. Did he? Did that happen?
I don't know. I mean, RGE will have anyone on. He has no filter. Like, he doesn't care. Which
Crazy
is
man.
funny because he does have a massive channel, and that would leave him open to a lot of trouble. But
Like copyright.
I didn't know about that. No, just Rob, there's people out there. There's weird people in comics.
Is that something we want to touch on, Bancroft? I don't know if we do we?
Nah.
Claims against channels, never a good thing. Crazy Mad says, I just want Shelby to draw everything. Me too, man. I do as well.
I don't. I think it's a certain style.
I do.
For a certain book. A book like this, it's perfect. It really is perfect. For a book like like Rob's story, perfect. But not every book. But I take your point. He really is. He was already amazing, but he's leveling up. So
his work on Goliath, when he eventually finishes it, is going to be amazing. It's going to be like.
Mortal V says, I wonder what crazy DMs Bancroft got about Goofanoid. You saw them all. He showed them all on stream.
Got 0 backers on that launch stream. That's rough.
On an RGE stream too. Oh.
Yeah. Like, look at that thing. He gets angry if I show pages, but I mean,
Why?
It's beautiful. I don't know. He likes things done his way.
See, now Darren's making me curious.
You wouldn't even believe us if you heard what Fizz literally asked. I clipped it. Well, I mean, you can DM us. I'd be interested to hear it, I think. Do people mind books with art that isn't that good? I've said this. I think the 3 things to being successful in Comicsgate. 1 is good art. The good art is always going to do better than art that is not as good. 2 is the amount of people that see the page, and 3 is the amount of interaction that you have with like the chat. With a little caveat on that being, are you likable or entertaining? Because if you're not either of those, it's going to be a hard thing for you. So I think you can do well without the world's best art as long as you can do those other 2 things. What do you think, Bancroft?
I know exactly where I stand on the art pecking order. So yeah, if you don't have world-class art on your book, yeah, you're gonna have to make it up in other ways. You're gonna have to, because at the end of the day, all you're doing is presenting. Like if we think about it, there's a number of people who are sort of walking by. Imagine like just a line of all the creators holding out their books. Why is that person who's just walking along that line going to stop at you and pick your book? You've got to. So if it's not going to be the art, it's got to be something else, whatever that is. And yeah, it could be any of those things that you said. But certainly, the better the art, the easier it is. I mean, we say that every time. The art opens doors. Like there are some guys, their art has been so good. I just say, yeah, sure, come on the show. Happy to show this off. It's kind of sight unseen. And other guys are like, I want to come on your show, and I'm like, let's see how you go on other people's show first, because I'm looking for that other thing that I can present. Are they cool? Are they funny? Do they have a really cool story? Do people like them?
Yeah, or do people want to make fun of them? I mean, that can be a thing.
Of course. Absolutely.
Like this guy. Mortal V says, I wonder if Michael got PTSD and gets cold sweats when he sees clowns now.
I've never been scared of clowns. Maybe that's why it didn't bother me that much.
Perth kind of gives you a little bit of a backhanded compliment. Bancroft is about as low as I will go in art quality.
I'll take that.
Rick says, if the art sucks, you better have one badass story. Crazy Mad says, art is cool, but it's still a book. Story first. Hail everyone and good night everyone. And I think that's a perfect place to end it. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll be back on Bancroft's show. Is that Sunday for them, Bancroft?
Mm-hmm. Sunday night.
Sunday night for you guys. All right, I'm going to play the outro.
Cool.
It's
you
been
really did miss streaming.
All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say I'm really glad Michael Bancroft is here. I mean this. I feel like, look, I'm an admirer of yours. I like what you've done. You've carved out a path for yourself. I want to be better friends. That's what I want to say to you. Rob, the replicator, I didn't even know you were here. But welcome, my friend. You are an awesome artist, and we're happy to have you here. Wait, are you an artist? You write your own stuff?
He is a good artist.
Okay. Your books are great. Cheers, everyone, and